John from Day One Personal Training, and today we're going to go over the Cyclone Lunge Complex. Now, Cyclone Lunge Complex is a great bang for your buck movement. Today it's a lot easier to fill our time, a lot harder to manage it, so anytime we can get into movements that give us the most bang for our buck, that we can get done the quickest, that give us the biggest training effect in the shortest amount of time, that are not only effective but efficient, the more time we have for other stuff. So, a few things that I really dig about this movement is again, because it's bang for your buck, it takes you through many degrees of freedom within one expansive movement. The way that it stresses the tension web, right, the myofascial matrix, it really opens up the lateral line, works you diagonally, which you don't always get in a lot of linear conventional systems, right? So we're working angular and rotational, which is some good stuff. It works the spiraling movement pattern, which is a favorite of mine. You see the spiraling movement pattern, or spiral pattern in general, a lot in nature, and it's just, anytime we train it, myself and my clients, it's just a lot of fun. It's a good way to help learn to generate a lot of power as well. The way that we're going to work on the bones or the compressive struts, the angle of the compressive forces works outside of typical linear fashion. So there's a lot going on with the movement. It's a lot of fun. There are progressions before it though, so if you're not comfortable with a typical forward lunge or a typical rear lunge, you might want to work those first, and there's a ton of good videos out there on the web about those. So you might want to work those first before you move into these. We're working more angularly. But if you're ready for that, if you move past just a simple forward lunge or simple rear lunge, you want something maybe a little bit more challenging, a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more stimulating, give this a shot. I think you'll like it a lot. Okay, the first part of our Cyclone Lunge Complex is going to be forward rolling lunge. Now, it's not going to be linear in the sense that we're surging forward with the front lunge or that we're swaying to the side with the side dropping lunge. We're going to work it in space in between. Okay, it's going to allow us to hit more degrees of freedom at one time. We're working at a 45-degree angle, so feet start shoulder width apart. Spine is nice and long. You're standing nice and tall. You can step out at an angle. Find midfoot. Okay, knee falls over your ankle. If you're doing it as a dynamic flexibility, warm up the back leg, can stay long, that's fine. If you don't have the strength required, you have a little bit of a deficit or restrictions and you can't drop the knee, keep the leg long. Otherwise, you're going to drop the knee, sink straight down, spine is nice and long. We're not teetering forward here. Spine's nice and long. From here, we'll take the right arm, we're going to reach overhead, open up the lateral line there, and reach overhead, shoulder stays packed, doesn't come out, stays packed down, reaches across the head. Left arm can be used as a post for balance, otherwise let it hang. As you pull back, step back to center. Lunge out, come back. Now the step when you lunge, right now, today isn't, right, a big ballast step. It's a slide step. So in a lot of traditional martial arts, it's sliding off center. It's a dodge, right, or it's a parry. The feet stay in constant contact with the ground so you can feel you're not off balance by lifting the leg off the ground. So slide out off center line, reach overhead, come back to center. Slide out off center line, reach overhead, come back to center. Slide out off center line, spine is nice and long, head is always looking straight forward, not down. Knee falls over the ankle, sinks down, reaches overhead with the right hand, comes back. Slide out, find midfoot, sink straight down, reach overhead, slide back. So nice and tall, driving through midfoot, coming back. Okay, for your forward rolling lunge. The second half of the Cyclone Lunge Complex is going to be the rear drop lunge. Now the rear drop lunge is going to find us in the same position almost as the forward rolling lunge. You'll see what I mean here in a second. So start feet shoulder width apart, standing nice and tall, facing forward. This time, instead of sliding out forward, you're going to take the right leg and you're going to swing it back, okay, to your rear. From here, rotate you off the waist, okay? Now we're facing the opposite direction. Instead of reaching overhead, we're going to drop down, find midfoot, drive through midfoot, spine is nice and long. Opposite arm, in this case the left, reaches across the right knee without hunching over. Spine is long. Reach across with an exhale. All right, to coil down. Uncoil out. Drive off of midfoot from your right leg. Step back to center. All right, I'll turn around so you can see it from the other side. Feet shoulder width apart. Swing out with the right leg. All right, now you'll see we're pretty much in that same position as we were with the rolling forward lunge. So from here, sink straight down, bend that back knee. Spine is nice and long. Exhale as we reach across. So you're reaching across the knee without bending over. Staying as tall as you can to reach across, stretch the tissue. Okay, back knee is bent. You'll see it's bent at an angle though. It's not bent straight forward. Okay, as long as you don't have any knee pain or discomfort, this is fine. All right, from here you can uncoil out, drive through midfoot, back to center, come back out with an exhale, uncoil, back to center. Swing out, again it's that swing step, that slide step, rotate from the hips. Exhale as you sink straight down, not forward, and again not pitching from the spine, nice and tall. With an exhale, drive from midfoot, swing back. Okay, for your rear drop lunge. Okay, now we're going to put our front rolling lunge and our rear drop lunge together to make up the Cyclone Lunge Complex. So this is the money maker, this is the bang for your buck movement. Simply start, feet shoulder width apart, facing forward, slide step out at a 45-degree angle, drop your legs, sink down, arm up, overhead. With an exhale, drive off of midfoot, come back to center. Right leg swings back immediately, hips rotate, take that rotational power and sink down into the rear leg. Nice and tall, long spine, looking straight ahead. Drive through midfoot on the right leg to uncoil. Push back to center. Now here's a switch in the middle. You're gonna have to go, momentum's carrying you this way. You're gonna swing out to the side here, drop down, overhead, back to center, swing out, switch this way, right? Okay, so the slide step becomes sort of important in the transitional movement between front and rear lunge. Without the slide step, it's a lot harder to get around. The slide step allows you to open the hip up to swing to the backside. So keep that in mind when you're practicing this. Start it slow. Practice it before you train it. Okay. Any problems with it? Discomfort? If you're looking for progressions in between or preceding or even beyond what we've done, give me a shout out down below. Leave me a comment. Send me a message, and see what we can do.